So when we look at battery testing, and what is our value in terms of what we're doing here, and I always like to say testing is usually considered a non-value added item. Not always. Once in a while we do some calibration or whatnot, but typically it's non-value added. But that's not what we're looking for. The numbers vary, but I think it goes somewhere like this. Our testing is really catching that small percentage of parts were built incorrectly, and part of why we put the in-process test is there when an assembly process goes out of control, we want to catch it as soon as possible. So by the time we get down the end of the line, we've got nothing but good parts coming off of there. So we're really looking for those ones that messed up or we had a problem in our process. The thing is, although there's no value added, the value of or what the cost is reflected back on you as the producer, it gets larger and larger as you go out. And that's kind of what this graph is trying to show. You catch things in line, it costs a little bit, blah, blah, blah. By the time it gets out to your end user, big cost in terms of the impact of a single failure. The cost of a single failure reflects and pays for a lot of the test capability in the lines. Next slide. So just to sum it up, traditional production testing, this kind of shows what we typically have been used to. You come up with an idea, you go through a prototype, you get it commercialized, you get ramped up to full production, things are just cruising, you crank the part out, you get into a continuous improvement cycle. And this took some time. And right now we've got our time compressed, and that's kind of what we're showing here. And part of the idea of the little graphic with 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week is how long it takes you to respond. This is the issue. As you get deeper into this, it takes longer to reflect your issues back into the part. And that's a challenge that we have, okay? It's like the things that we used to uncover in commercialization stage or in the production stage, we had some time to get it fixed, right? And now what we're trying to do, and what I'm trying to say is, it's better to spend the time up front now to try and figure this out in order to help us shrink this down. So what are we looking at today? So here's kind of what we're looking at today, right? And so you can see we've got the real steep slope, and we've got things that are on top of each other. And so let's remember our shift in perspective, right? Acquire and apply our domain knowledge that we have inherent in our own companies and go get help where we need it. Take our proof of principles, our lab to pilot to production line, right? So this is, a lot of cases, this is like right on top of each other. And so the idea is to identify issues and problems quickly. That is, let's solve early for failure. How do we do that? In terms of what we're going to do this with, we can look at equipment that's purposed to flex from the pilot to the production volumes. For example, the little pictures on the left kind of show, kind of like a development idea, some prototype tooling, where the prototype tooling is built such that it can be rolled forward into what you see at the bottom, which is final high volume production. And additionally, the amount of parts that could be built went from a one-off to many to thousands. And these are some of the things we've got to be thinking about to try and incorporate in the testing. And while we're doing this, though, we also have to be looking at the items that are on the right side of the graphic in terms of what it is that we're using. So what are the next generation processes that are coming out in terms of, our digital modeling, in terms of artificial intelligence? Is there anything I can apply? We talked way back in the beginning about the state of health. What things do I need to measure in the production process and guarantee me a long state of health on these batteries? How do I even begin to figure out what that is? Am I measuring it today or not? Those kind of things. Some ways we've got, some safety issues, right? And how do we handle these parts, especially as the power is growing and growing? And then facility management. What do I have in my production plant? Can I handle the electricity that I need to charge? Can I handle the electricity that I might regenerate? How are we doing all that? Got to be looking at that early on. You don't have the time to wait. Some of the things, especially in the facility, things take time. Especially if you're looking at large scale, it could be big equipment, tough to get. And so we need to look at these things in order to implement them for our success. looking at equipment flexing from pilot to production is big. The scalability is big. And then making sure you take a look at what your existing facilities are to make sure that they can roll with the changes that are going to be coming at you. Next slide. So ATS is uniquely suited to provide solutions through this entire life cycle of a product. And, we've got really good people that work here, and we've been doing this for a while, and we make really good machinery. We've got a great team of project management to make sure that these programs get implemented correctly. Some of the phasing, staging, especially if you look at ramp production or integrating things that will support a pilot, and then how do I build that up and upscale that into a large volume production line? What can I do to do that? How do I do that? These are the things that we're good at doing for you. We're everywhere around the world. We can help you no matter where you're at. And we've been around for a while, and we're pretty darn good at this. Next slide. You heard me talk about we're good. Here's just a couple examples to give you an idea of what we've been doing. We've been doing batteries for a long time. So we got in the game early, and we enjoy doing this stuff. We've done a lot of it. We've been going through, changing as the products have changed. So the baseline that I presented to you here is coming from our experience in terms of what we've seen changing, where we think things might be changing.